Shut up and sit down.
I did look at this the other day. I did see this doing the rounds on Twitter and Reddit, so I had an opinion. But give some context for the listeners, please.
Yeah, so people are coming at Khabib's perfect record. Tony Ferguson, went on like one of those Instagram posts where it's like, 3,000 words and you need there's hieroglyphics in there and you need translation. But he was essentially making the point that Khabib didn't really fight anyone before coming over to the UFC. And somebody on Reddit actually went through and made this little graphic here. A lot of the fights he had in the regional scene in Russia, his first 16 fights were against people who didn't have winning records, a lot of people who were making their debut or had never had a win, in MMA before. So, he did kind of there is an argument to be made that he was padding his stats a little bit before making that jump over to the UFC.
Okay, whilst I'm just, what's the word I'm looking for? Elaborating on what you said. Just look up the record, the professional boxing record of, I don't know what it's like, Floyd Mayweather. Let's go with that. Okay, he's considered the best ever, like Khabib's considered the best ever. So compare his. Sorry, Lewis, one sec, because I guarantee it's like you, Lewis, when you started doing comedy. You were doing it in some shithole or some basement or some kitchen or maybe some cafe, like on New Year's Eve or wherever you are. The point I'm making is you build to that. When I started in the UFC, professional MMA, the guy I fought wasn't very good. You build your way up to it and you fight the best guys when you get, to that level. You shouldn't be fighting good guys at that time.
And also, I would completely I would follow the logic and go, okay, that's a point. That's interesting. I guess his undefeated record doesn't seem as, crazy. If he didn't absolutely destroy everybody put in front of him, the highest level of UFC fighters. I mean, he's looked untouchable. So yeah, I guess if he was sort of on the brink and you could sort of bring that up, but no, he won the title and beat everybody that's been put in front of him.
Yeah. And then since he got to the UFC, continued to be undefeated. I mean, I love Tony, but there's no logic in the argument there. Okay, great. Didn't fight the best people prior to the UFC. All right, well, fair enough. You have whatever feelings you want of that. When he got to the UFC, he remained undefeated. He fought excellent competition. He beat Poirier, McGregor, Gaethje. There's so many people. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. And he beat them all. So what he did before the UFC shouldn't even matter.
Yeah, it's just sort of it's just a non-point, but okay, what's your point? I don't really get it. Yeah, he should fight a guy that's 0-0 when he was 0-0. When he was 1-0, maybe a guy that's 0-0 or 1-0 or 0-1 also still kind of makes sense. It shows his first 10 fights, and then he starts to fight, he starts to fight guys with more experience. It's also that part of the world, when he was coming up, I know now every other fighter now is named Khamzat Badigabov or, Ali Babablibabov. We got a lot of fighters in that part of the world right now. But I think at that time, it was still developing. I don't know how legal MMA was at that time. I don't know sort of how organized it was. I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to find high quality opponents, and he fought whoever was put in front of him. He was trying to make a name for himself.
Absolutely. And that's what you got to do. That's why I said, look at Floyd Mayweather's. Now, I haven't seen it. Get the video of Khamzat in Chechnya. Hey, Brian, or what's his face? Harrington. Sorry, I was texting there. I'll just say it here. I don't know why I'm texting you. I was trying to do it and not interrupt the flow. Bring up the video of, if you can find it, of Khamzat Chimaev being honored in Chechnya, because it loops into what you're saying, Lewis. Yeah, you're right. Listen, that's why I said about Floyd Mayweather. I don't know what his record is, but I guarantee in the early days, you're fighting nobodies. That's how you start, because you're also a nobody, and nobody isn't the right term. It sounds disrespectful, but realistically, that's the case. When you're starting in comedy, you're a nobody. When you're starting in MMA or whatever it is, you're a nobody. Then you work your way up. Now, you can't go in there and start fighting the best people or competing against the best people. That would be a complete mismatch. You know what I mean? In mixed martial arts, people are going to get, one second, Baron. People are going to get murdered. To your point, Lewis, where do you see this? You're right. That part of the world now is booming with MMA. It always has been, but it seems that part of the world, they really get behind their athletes. And Khamzat, as we know, who was supposed to fight Leon Edwards, I think we talked about that on the last show. It's a real shame, but it's been moved to January. He went back to Chechnya, and because he is Chechen, but I never got this kind of treatment. You haven't seen this, right, Lewis?
No, I haven't.
Look at this guy.
Can I guess what they do?
Hold on, yeah, guess.
They sacrifice a live goat, and he drinks the blood from a cup.
I thought you were gonna say like Yeah, I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but take a look. This is awesome.
Something else ignorant and racist. Yes.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Мы с радостью приветствуем на благодатной чеченской земле бойца смешанных боевых искусств, выступающего под эгидой UFC, бойца, за плечами которого 9 боев, 9 побед, 0 поражений. Бурные аплодисменты.
Getting the royal treatment here. Hold on, look, you got all the entertainment. And that's I forget his name. That's the #1 artist in Chechnya right now. He's fucking killing it.
Look, I'm jealous. All I want to do, I want to be sitting at this weird golden table and listening to Chechnyan pop artists.
Look at these guys, though. Fucking entertainers, top of the food chain in Chechnya, those guys. That's it, man.
This would be prison in the United States.
This looks like a scene from The Godfather when it came out in the 70s.
Yeah, dude. This looks horrifying. What is he drinking? Please, get me out of this place.
Apparently, and it's only allegedly, the leader of Chechnya, this Kadyrov guy, is a murderous dictator that a lot of people are very scared of. So they're all sitting there pretending to like this here, but they're like, when can I leave?
Yeah.
Anyway, kill it. That music's infuriating. But some people have fallen under a lot of criticism for going out there and dealing with that guy. I think Steven Seagal was one of them. Some other people. He's a fan of mixed martial arts and martial arts movies and action. So he brings a lot of people out there and pays them very, very handsomely, and they get a little bit of backlash.
Well, I don't know much about that leader or that guy in particular, but you hear about this all the time where it's like they'll go to like certain like Middle Eastern countries or certain countries that are like really like harsh dictatorships, but then they'll like pay Beyonce $10 million and she'll show up in a fucking cake and do a private performance for this guy who's like slaughtering and creating like a Holocaust for his people. And it's like that's like secret backdoor deals that happen all the time that I've only heard about like in the rumor mill. But in fact, that'd be a great thing to pull up, Harrington. See if there's like a list of famous musicians or artists that have performed for like bad dictators. I guarantee there is. Steven
Seagal and the bunch of the other examples I gave earlier. No, I'm sure there is. As you said, Beyonce jumping out of a cake. I don't know why that immediately made me think of the movie Steven Seagal Under Siege when she jumps out the birthday cake. You seen that?
I just think of cake anytime I see Steven Seagal these days.
Yeah, no, but have you never seen that? Under Siege when they have the birthday cake. I haven't seen Under Siege
since I was a kid. I never really loved Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Well, I'm just talking about the girl that jumps out of the cake.
Oh, you're saying she's hot?
Oh my God! When I was a kid, because I was like 12 or something, I was like, "Wow, holy shit!" I've never seen someone. Oh my God! Tell me about it.